who has identified himself as a longtime Democratic staffer. It's not a Republican operative, a Democratic staffer who was working in Democratic offices at the time of the alleged leaking in 16-17. This staffer was interviewed by FBI agents on several occasions and told those agents that then Congressman Adam Schiff was the one who approved the leaks to the...
Megyn Kelly instantly shatters the idea of Adam Schiff as a fearless defender of truth. The moment she turns her focus on him, the polished image collapses. She exposes him not as a champion of democracy, but as a performer addicted to dramatic speeches and headline-ready moments. Instead of delivering the major revelations he promised for years, Schiff drifted into a cycle of empty warnings and exaggerated suspense. Kelly strips away that carefully crafted exterior, revealing someone far more interested in applause than accountability. Behind the confident tone and dramatic flair, she shows a politician sustained by cameras, sound bites, and the echo chamber that rewards performance over substance.
Now, this staff member began talking to the FBI in 2017 because he said he considered the leaks to be, quote, unethical, illegal, and treasonous. This is a Democrat staffer who is saying to the FBI he had a holy shit moment when he heard Adam Schiff give the order. These documents that outline the FBI's interview, the FBI doesn't tape its interviews. They go back and they report what they heard.
For years, Adam Schiff portrayed himself as Congress's chief investigator, a relentless seeker of hidden truths. But Megyn Kelly exposes the flaw in that persona. Schiff didn't uncover mysteries, he created them. He inflated hints into headlines, treated speculation like certainty, and turned ordinary political disagreements into dramatic narratives. Every major revelation he teased ended in nothing, dissolving the moment facts emerged. Kelly breaks down the pattern piece by piece, revealing a politician more committed to staying in the spotlight than delivering real results. Instead of a watchdog protecting democracy, she presents him as a theatrical figure who thrives on drama, noise, and attention long after the camera is shut off.
Going to shock the world right now and defend Adam Schiff. In response to the heat he's getting for the following clip.
It is an existential threat, Senator, and also I have not seen it yet, but from what I've heard about former FBI Director Ray,
someone in the audience behind
comments on 60
Pam
Minutes regarding China
is videotaping Adam Schiff asleep.
In our own country, infiltrating our water systems, our natural gas lines.
I defend Adam Schiff because these government...
Kelly highlights how Schiff mastered one skill above all, performing seriousness. With widened eyes, a slow voice, and dramatic pauses, he made every topic sound like a national emergency. He spoke as though he held world-altering evidence, promising game-changing revelations that never materialized. Each time the moment arrived, the build-up collapsed, no twist, no proof, nothing but deflated hype. His investigations didn't resemble sharp detective work, they played out more like a suspense episode with no ending. All setup, no payoff. Kelly underscores how audiences waited for results that never came, left wondering how such empty theatrics were allowed to stretch so long.
Don't believe he's going to weaponize the DOJ to use it against his opponents. I believe that's what was done to him. Though, as we discussed with Alan Dershowitz in that now famous clip that went around where I said we need Steve Bannon, I'm not totally opposed to it. I'm going to be honest. Who would cry a tear if Adam Schiff actually got some sort of hassle thrown his way by the DOJ?
The reason this pattern repeats is simple. Adam Schiff deals not in solid evidence but in suspense. He relies on hints, suggestions, and carefully shaped implications that keep the public guessing just long enough to maintain attention. Megyn Kelly points out that if Schiff truly possessed the explosive proof he claimed, it would have surfaced long ago. Instead, he extended hearings, fed networks dramatic quotes, and played the self-styled hero in a story he staged for himself. His strength isn't uncovering corruption, it's crafting drama. Schiff fuels political theater with cliffhangers that never resolve, keeping cameras pointed his way while delivering nothing concrete. He positions himself as a protector of democracy, but Kelly shows he's ultimately its hype-driven showman.
Schiff stated the group would leak classified information which was derogatory to the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Schiff stated the information would be used to indict President Trump. The whistleblower stated this would be illegal. And upon hearing his concerns, unnamed members of the meeting reassured that they would not be caught leaking classified information.
Schiff becomes an easy target because of the confidence he hides behind, a confidence that often crosses into outright arrogance once his claims fall apart. Most politicians retreat when the evidence fails to support their narratives, but but Schiff pushes forward as if the contradictions aren't visible to the public. Megyn Kelly dismantles this pattern, pointing out how he would confidently repeat assertions that led nowhere, and then imply the real wrongdoing was anyone questioning him. It's the behavior of a salesman promoting a flawless product that never actually works. Schiff didn't simply stretch the truth, he wielded it like a stage accessory, relying on dramatic tones and polished delivery to disguise the lack of substance underneath. Kelly exposes how this performance allowed him to keep attention even when facts refused to cooperate.
President Biden pardoned Adam Schiff at the end of his term, but unlike the one he gave to Hunter, it was a limited pardon. And it only spoke to J6 and his work on the January 6th Select Committee. So it would not immunize him from any of the claims you and I are discussing right now, right?
Kelly also exposes the selective moral compass Schiff operates with, highlighting how he speaks loudly about accountability while bending standards whenever it benefits his own political image. He leaks partial details, frames incomplete narratives, and transforms congressional hearings into rehearsed moments designed for viral clips rather than genuine clarity. His focus isn't the public interest, it's self-promotion. Instead of steady leadership, Schiff treats the House chamber like a studio set, crafting the perfect dramatic line while essential legislative work slows. Kelly stresses the damage this approach caused. While he played the role of resistance icon, public trust weakened and meaningful progress stalled. Strip away the dramatic speeches and spotlight moments, and what remains is a career built on outrage performance rather than tangible results.
So walk us through what the 302 reports that the FBI wrote up after their interviews with this whistleblower say.
Yeah, so let's give you a sense of who this person is. We don't know their name because the name is redacted, but we know their career. They're a career intelligence officer. So they started in the executive branch as an intelligence officer, and then they get detailed to the Democratic side of the House Intelligence Committee. Eventually, this person inherits as his boss, Adam Schiff, when Adam Schiff takes over as the Democrat minority ranking member on House Intelligence in 2016. And they're working for Adam Schiff. And somewhere in the beginning of the Russia collusion, false narrative building in America, he attends a meeting where Adam Schiff says, we're going to...
If there was one role Schiff stretched for every ounce of attention, it was impeachment, his personal spotlight. He delivered those hearings with an almost theatrical intensity, sounding like a frustrated stage actor trying to elevate a play no one asked for. Megyn Kelly cut straight through the performance, exposing the entire display as rehearsed outrage designed to position Schiff as the heroic face of resistance. Like his other carefully crafted dramas, the finale landed with a muted thud, offering none of the monumental revelations he insisted were coming. Kelly highlights his favorite tactic, phrases like "the evidence suggests" or "we've seen signs," statements that sound authoritative yet say nothing concrete. It's political misdirection at its smoothest. Schiff wasn't presenting proof, he was presenting atmosphere, hoping the dramatics would mask the emptiness beneath it.
At least according to the legal experts I've talked to, he's only immunized for what he did related from January 6 forward of 2021. So these things occurred in 17 and 18. You've got the mortgage issue, which is also based on our reporting, a story we broke last October on the counting two houses as his primary residence to get better mortgage deals. Those would fall outside of the pardon according to the legal experts who've looked at it. And I suspect if those get to the case of criminality at some point, that there may be some legal challenges trying to test that pardons.
Then there's his long-running fixation on Donald Trump, a fixation Megyn Kelly unpacks with sharp precision, cutting straight to the center of Schiff's political identity. Schiff built his national image on the promise that he would be the one to finally take Trump down, repeating it across interviews and hearings like a storyline he refused to retire. Every time he insisted Trump's downfall was just around the corner. Yet years later, Trump remains a major political force, while Schiff continues recycling the same predictions as if time simply froze. The irony is impossible to miss. Schiff tied his entire career to the very figure he wanted erased, creating a link he never intended. The embarrassment goes further. He repeatedly raised money off the fear he generated, attaching donation links to every dramatic warning and urgent alert. Politics became a subscription model, each message crafted to keep supporters hooked. And what did they ultimately receive? Not major breakthroughs or decisive outcomes, just Schiff's confident television appearances and a loop of promises that never materialized.
I mean, didn't we just have a whole criminal investigation of Donald Trump for having documents at Mar-a-Lago that might have classified information in them, and we just can't have that. We can't have classified information running around out there in the hands of people who aren't authorized. Meanwhile, this is the former president of the United States who can declassify everything. We were told that for 2 years straight, the past 2
That's
years by
right.
Democrats. And now what you're saying is that one of the most vocal about that, Adam Schiff, had been at the helm of releasing classified information.
Schiff's supporters often insist he's just protecting democracy, but Megyn Kelly dismisses that defense instantly, treating it as a line repeated far too many times. Protecting democracy doesn't mean staging drawn-out political performances that never lead to meaningful outcomes. It doesn't mean turning Congress into a stage for dramatic monologues. And it certainly doesn't mean issuing so many exaggerated warnings that the public stops believing any of them. Kelly also highlights his habit of projection, warning others about misinformation while promoting narratives that never materialize. He brands himself a champion of truth yet leans on dramatized claims to keep attention centered on him. Delivered with that trademark air of indignation, Schiff's message becomes clear: don't question me. But Kelly argues that he isn't defending democracy. He's rewriting it into a platform for his own dramatics.
While this is only the unverified allegation of a single former staffer, the alleged conduct would involve criminal and unethical conduct of the highest order, if proven. Your reaction to this news?
Well, it's in keeping with my opinion of Adam Schiff. I've been calling him McCarthyite ever since he started in on Trump. And as John pointed out, McCarthy, at least there had some communists in the government that he was talking about, although he was irresponsible. Adam Schiff repeatedly came out and said, I have seen documents that indict, that link Trump to Russia, but I can't reveal them to you now, but just you wait, I'm going to reveal them. And of course, we know they weren't there. We know there was nothing there. And now we have this information from the whistleblower, my favorite part of which is when the whistleblower says he objected to the illegality.
At the core of Kelly's critique lies one unavoidable truth. Adam Schiff constructed a public persona he could never match in reality. He isn't a fraud in a legal sense, but in a professional sense, someone who sold himself as a fearless truth seeker while delivering little more than heightened rhetoric. Serious investigations became low-budget political theater, complete with dramatic previews of historic outcomes that never appeared. Instead of strengthening trust, he weakened it, shifting public expectations towards spectacle instead of accountability. Government began to resemble a reality TV set where suspense mattered more than results. What makes it even more striking is that Schiff shows little awareness of the gap between image and performance. Even after repeated failed predictions, he steps back onto television with the same self-assured tone, as if hopping confidence alone can replace substance.
So the whistleblower was reportedly very specific on the details. Like it doesn't sound like a lie because this person had a lot of details when speaking to the FBI. Quote, when working in this capacity, this whistleblower was called to an all-staff meeting by Schiff. In this meeting, Schiff stated the group would leak classified information, which was derogatory.
When the final chapter closes, Adam Schiff won't be remembered as a fierce defender of the Constitution. He'll be remembered as the politician who promised a smoking gun and repeatedly delivered only fog. Megyn Kelly highlights the painful contrast between the heroic image Schiff attempted to cultivate and the far less impressive reality he produced. He aspired to become a historic guardian of democracy, but instead turned into a symbol of political showmanship pushed beyond its limits. Rather than reinforcing institutions, he weakened them, transforming official hearings into props for his own dramatic ambitions. His real loyalty wasn't to truth, it was to the spotlight, the camera, the steady stream of media attention that kept his name in circulation. Eventually, the public began to see the cracks, and once the illusion collapsed, the distance between who he wanted to be and who he was became too large to ignore.
Now have whistleblower interview transcripts from the FBI. They're not exactly transcripts, they're FBI write-ups of the interviews that they conducted with a whistleblower who's a self-described Democrat working for the Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee, who worked for them, by the way, for 10 years, who says that he was there in 2017 when he heard Adam Schiff say, we are going to leak classified documents and intel to the media with the hopes of getting Donald.
And finally, the full weight of Schiff's hypocrisy becomes impossible to overlook. For years, he pointed fingers at others for dishonesty while simultaneously relying on exaggerated claims, selective leaks, and half-formed narratives designed to spark outrage. He wasn't the fearless truth-teller he presented to the public. He was the salesman behind a political product that crumbled the moment anyone inspected it closely. And when that product failed, he had nothing substantial to fall back on, only noise, repeated lines, and a familiar dramatic tone echoing through Washington. Megyn Kelly dismantles this pattern by turning Schiff's own record against him. His legacy, she argues, isn't built on legislation, meaningful reforms, or genuine leadership. It's built on theatrics, performances crafted to generate headlines rather than solutions. He didn't unite the public, he deepened divisions. He didn't protect democratic institutions, he turned them into stages for personal elevation. Every time he made a bold declaration, it collapsed under even mild scrutiny. In the end, Schiff isn't portrayed as a statesman but as a parody of one, a politician whose biggest contribution was a series of dramatic warnings and confident predictions that never aligned with reality. Kelly doesn't merely criticize him, she dismantles the myth entirely, leaving him as one of modern politics' most cautionary examples of style overtaking substance.